fairyland. It's Tea with Tamara.
Care Bear Stare. Good morning, everybody. Super excited to be here. And I always like to start with some sort of funny story. And the funny story is like, in the last couple of days, Jeff and I got back from the cottage and have been like, go, 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 go. And so all of my favorite tea mugs are currently in use. But like with 6 in the sink, I never run out. I don't know if anybody else has like a tea and coffee mug fetish, but this girl totally does. I think that's why it's called Tea with Tamara. So what I wanted to kind of get started with today is a magical word called change. Good morning, good morning. Change is probably one of those words that either elicits a physical response in your body where you're like, fucking, this change thing is not for me, right? Or you're the type of person that you hear the word change and it's almost like your brain computes it in a different way and you hear momentum or shifting or increase or something, right? And so I'm writing the first chapter of The Blind Leap, how to jump into the unknown and create the life of your dreams. And the first chapter has a lot to do with change. And so that's why I feel inspired to talk about it as I'm writing it, because it's a really powerful topic. And so I was kind of looking back into the life of Tamara, at the time Brower, currently Arnold, and I noticed a big, what's the word I want to say, overlapping events, like where it just keeps happening again, routine, whatever. And from the time I was born to the time I was 19 years old, I had moved more times than my age. So we didn't stay in one spot very often. And so I spent most of my early years in adolescence changing my location quite frequently. And on top of changing my location, I don't believe when I was doing the math that I stayed in a school for more than 2 years at a time. That was my max before I was changing schools. And not only that, but I mean, I had Ethan when I was 20 years old. And by the time I was 20 years old, when I did the calculations, I had already had 6 jobs, right? So here you're looking at a 20-year-old who has changed her locations and houses. She's changed her jobs and she's changed her schools so incredibly frequently. So it's no surprise right now in where I am in my business and my life that I fucking love change. Like, I think change is the most magical way to move or to shift the energy of our life, of our business, of our relationships, you name it. Small changes can elicit the greatest results in the entire world. And the example of this one, and then I want to talk about where to find the resistance of why you're resisting the change, because really we want to get back into a really strong vessel of energetic flow from spirit, God, love, universe, goddess, whomever that you connect with. We want that information and those opportunities and those clients and that true love and all of that to be able to like come right directly into our crown chakra, travel all the way down the body and like right into our feet. So we are in a beautiful co-creation with spirit in order to maximize what we're here on this earth to do and shine as bright as we can, right? And so I had started my business and this is going back last year, guys. This is not like I'm going 100 years ago. I started my business basically lying in my bed, in my bedroom, because I didn't have a space that was just for me. I was working whenever somebody could get on the phone with me. And sometimes it was in my pajamas because I was petrified to be on video. Shut up, I know. And so I was using as many free things to launch my business as I possibly can. So I was on Facebook Messenger and I was either using the phone call app there or I was just calling locally in Canada, right? 0 cost to start my business. But I noticed that, my business had no problem taking off. And so the next thing that I did was moved into my kitchen. So once, my husband was at work and my kids were at school, I could place my computer up. And this was when I started to feel more confident being on video. And we're only looking at like April of last year, just to give you a timeline. And so now I'm using the Facebook video. And so I'm still not spending any money in my business and I'm growing into becoming the Tamara that you see here today, right? And another thing that I noticed that where the kitchen table was diagonal to where my door is in my actual house space, right? So eventually my husband stopped working last April because my business was doing so well so quickly. And, we wanted to have more time and space for me to be in front of everybody. And I needed the support and the care and the love in the background, and to make sure that the kids were okay and fed. And, there was always somebody available for them. So we moved my desk, and that probably was about July of last year, into my garage space. And over time, it was fine, it was nice, it was good. But over time, it just started to feel meh, stagnant. It started to feel uncomfortable. There was a discomfort about coming into what I consider my space, my energetic space, the space in which I can stand up into the highest version of myself and do the work that I'm placed onto this earth to do. And so over this particular year, from January on, it started to feel more cluttered, and just, that feeling where you're just like, something's not right. And so then it clicked for me yesterday. It happened yesterday that I was like, oh my God, my desk is not in the right place in order to inspire my business to be in the place that I want. Now, if anybody knows Feng Shui, I was facing away from the door. So when people were coming into the room, I was on the same wall as the door, facing out. That's a big no-no in Feng Shui world. And, if I'm going to be all up in energetic grills of the body, I'm energetic grills of our spaces, right? And so yesterday morning, it was it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, I need to change my entire office around, the entire office. And by 2 p.m. in the afternoon, Jeff and I were on a mission, and we did not stop. I did not stop. We even went to IKEA and bought shelves, did not stop until 9 a.m. this morning in order to create a space in which I could stand as gloriously as I possibly could in the light of my stardust to shine for you guys. So how do we know? How do we know if, we need to change relationships, if we need to change our jobs, if we need to change something about our spaces? Because sometimes it's not the big change. It's not the change of you need to completely give up everything in your life in order to start over again. Sometimes that's not the jam, right? Sometimes it's just small, minute changes that, again, create that space for you to stand in your light and to shine, whether you're in an office, you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're an entrepreneur. And so I want to go through with you guys some of the resistance that you're feeling, and then how you can kind of make a significant shift in that resistance, so that if that's the spot, right? And if you can shift or change something in that area, then the rest of your life will shift and change. The flow will come back and you can manifest again. So when we're looking at the root chakra, which is the base of everything and who you are, the resistance, so if you're feeling highly distracted, right? And this is where I was, highly distracted. I'd walk in my office and I'd sit down and I would look around and I'm like, oh my God, I should clean this. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I could almost find 7,000 things to do other than sitting down to do my work, because there was in my mind so many things to do. Because our root is our ability to connect to our tribe. It is our community. It's walking into work and feeling like you're part of something bigger than you. It's being a stay-at-home mom, but still having a community of other moms around you. And so it's a really big deal to feel that. That's what we're here to do. To me, this is the foundation of who we are. So if you're feeling highly distracted, there is something disconnecting you from that, from being in a space where you feel like you're in a community of like-minded people who are all striving for the same thing, that you have, people who vibrate at your frequency, that you feel every single day you're surrounded with people that are of the same or higher, and you're not trying to stuff yourself down into lower vibrations and fit in. Right? So when you're feeling discomfort of distraction or resistance of distraction, the key is to shift or change something, like I did my physical space, right? So that I would feel more vibrant and showing up for the people that I'm here to serve. It could be that you need to end a friendship that, is draining to you. And I mean, that's never easy, guys. Believe me, I understand that. I've lost a lot of people along the way who just don't even follow along or want to follow along with what I'm doing, or feel that, the work that I'm doing is spectacular, or that it can help people all over the world, right? So sometimes that's a decision we have to make. Now, the second resistance that we might feel is hiding. Now, there's two types of hiding. right? So if you're feeling like discomfort in your business, or you're resisting change, and the change manifests as you don't go out to as many events, you stop going to family functions, you are, if you do go out, you stand back from other people and you don't want to be seen, you don't want to engage in conversations. And that's one way in which we hide, right? But the other place is the one that I was really good at. And I'm really spectacular about hiding in front of people, right? I'm queen of hiding where people can see me so that they can't say I'm hiding. I think that's why I was in the school plays my whole life, is because I could be on stage and people could see me, but nobody knew me. I thought everybody hated me in high school. Don't ask. It was a whole empath thing. So the other way that I hid, and you might do this as well, is through drinking. Right? Like I could be in front of a crowd and all of the sensations or the feelings of reasons why I didn't think people would connect with me through my second floor of my energetic house, my sacral. So that's where the problem was. I could either physically hide myself and not go out, or I could hide in front of them and drink. And then all of my thoughts that I wasn't good enough or deserving or whatever would disappear, and I would look like I was having the life of the party. Meanwhile, Tamara, we all know, took it way too far. If you knew me, anytime that I had a change to make in my life and I was avoiding making that change, you would know by the amount of alcohol that I consumed. Period, exclamation mark. Hiding in plain sight. So the best way that we work through this, if it's the resistance of what's really preventing you from making the change that you need to change, is, again, discomfort is there for a reason. If you are knowing that you need to start with yourself, right? I always say that this is the most important person that you need to connect with, because if you can connect with yourself, you can connect with others. And so having a conversation with yourself, whether it's in a journal, in a mirror, or something like that, and just saying, okay, like, why am I hiding? It's as simple as that. And just allow the thoughts, feelings, and emotions to come out, and then honor them, friends. Now, the third floor of your energetic house, and where you might be having a total discomfort to change. All right, you ready for this one? This is a big one, is imposter syndrome. So let's say that you're in a corporate job, or you're a stay-at-home mom and you want to launch a business, and maybe you even want to join an MLM, my goodness. And so you want to become the next version of yourself, right? The solar plexus, or your third floor, in the way in which you're going to feel the resistance to change is they're going to tell you, you're going to hear this in your head, you don't have what it takes, sister or brother. You need to get some certifications. You need to go back to school. You need to get so much more done in order for you to still leave this job or become employed as a single mom or, right? Nuh-uh. This is so not true. This is simply a resistance to the third floor of your energetic house that creates a way in which we don't do the change that's required. Because in truth, it's bravery in itself. Anyone who decides to do anything, whether even if you're an entrepreneur and you go back to a 9-to-5 job, guys, that is amazing. And you should honor that sensation or that feeling. And so the way we get over this resistance is realizing that we only need to be a few steps in front of the person ahead of us in order to reach back and serve them, right? So if you are a stay-at-home mom and you love oil and you start using oil, you already have what somebody doesn't have, which is the knowledge that you've used up until that moment to begin using it. So don't be afraid and don't think you need anything else, because you're perfect and you have exactly what you need inside you right now. The fourth resistance to change is in the heart, my friends. It's in the heart. And the heart's resistance is often martyrdom. And what martyrdom does is it portrays itself as if nobody cares about you, because you are, in that loving sense, giving so much of yourself. You'll find yourself helping out with family, with friends, with the kids. You give and you give and you give. So you're exhaling from your heart all the time, but you're not receiving anything. Like, if you don't ask for help, if you're feeling like ill, so you just be ill in your house by yourself and the kids are running amok and you're like, why doesn't anybody help me? Well, because you didn't ask for help and you're so used to giving and not receiving that it feels as if that martyrdom has it. And so if you've ever felt like, oh my goodness, nobody ever cares about me, all I do is give, and nobody ever helps me in return, this is where this resistance is coming from. It's coming from your heart chakra. And the resistance to change is like, why would I even bother anyway when I don't get the support I need? So I can't go back to work, or I can't get a job, or I can't start a business because nobody's there to support me, because all I do is help others. All right, so let's solve that problem right away as well, because shifting that resistance is magnificent for creating change and allowing some energetic flow. And so in order to change this one, you need to ask for some help. Start small, but you have to be open to receiving, whether it's from the universe, from yourself, or from any support system that you can. So reaching out, having a coffee date with a friend can be the simplest way that you can start to ease the resistance of shifting that heart chakra in order to increase change in your life and your business, because you will quickly see that all humans love to support and care for other people. It's just part of who we are. And so leaning into somebody who is there to say, hey, I would love to help you, is such a gift, not only to you, but to the person that's helping you. So don't be afraid to ask for a little support and a little, help every once in a while. Let's move on to this one. Oh, man. The throat chakra resistance is a big one. I know I say that they're all big ones, but this one's a big one because this is our vehicle to get our mission out into the world. So if we're not feeling supported, we're not feeling loved, or we're not feeling like, we're standing in our stardust and shining our light or doing what it is that we're meant to be doing, we often will either clench our teeth, clench our teeth, right? Because so if you're clenching your teeth either at night, you have a mouth guard, things like this, your throat chakra is resisting the fuck out of speaking your truth. And you also get sick a lot, right? Because think about that. There's so many emotions that we carry. Like we have no problem sharing joy. Like I feel really good today. High five, everybody. This is awesome. But like when we're low, we're like, nobody wants to know how we're feeling today because now we're just a problem and it's too much for everybody. They can't handle their own life. They can't handle ours. And so we hold all our emotions in. Maybe we, and aren't telling our kids how we really feel, or our partners, or our bosses, or our mentors, or our clients. It doesn't matter, but you start to hold in your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, which you guys should know that I don't do, but I used to do. This is a brand new thing for me. I only started to use my voice to the capacity that I'm using it last year when I wrote my first book. That one. And let me tell you, it was a super uncomfortable thing to begin with, right? So how does the resistance show up? Cold, flus. When I was at my worst peak, I didn't want to be in my relationship with my daughter's father, and I didn't like my job. It was overwhelming. I was burning myself out because I was distracting myself by working countless hours. I got impetigo. Do you know what impetigo is? It is a strep of the skin, and I had it all over my face, and it looked like flesh-eating disease. It was awful, like on my eyelid. I mean, it was everywhere. And I know, looking back, how much and how many caustic emotions that I was holding in my body and not sharing out of my energetic self. And so it needs to manifest some way. So how do we get into a space of using our voice? I'm not asking you to go and have confrontations with everybody, because that doesn't solve any problems either. But the fact of the matter is, if you have a simple journal that you can start writing your feelings, and not just saying, I can only write happy things in my journal, because the journal is there for only happy thoughts either. Guys, give yourselves some credit. You have to get these emotions out somehow. And so starting simply by writing, today was just shitty. Like I feel like this, but then being able to look at that and say, okay, I'm so glad I got that out, but now how did it actually benefit me today is huge, right? So let's move into the third eye, or the sixth energetic house of your body, and how you resist change. This one is incredibly difficult to manage. Because what happens is you legitimately shut down. That is the space of trust. That is like knowing everything's going to be okay. And if you're resisting change in any form, everything not going to be okay. Not at all, right? So you're going to be like, and it's uncontrollable. And I have been through this one as well. So I know all of these resistances, like I've experienced them. This is what happens. You shut down. Like you literally shut down. You can't keep your eyes open. You'll be working and you'll be like, I need toothpicks for my eyes. You'll come home from work. It'll be 5, 6 o'clock. You'll go right to bed. Your body shuts down because the chaotic thoughts that you're having and the creation of all these outcomes, like, well, what if I leave my job, or what if I leave my relationship, or what if I change the wrong thing, or what if I do the wrong thing here, and what if I don't have it, what if I can't make it, and then you create all of these outcomes. It's exhausting. Your brain and your third eye can't handle all of those thoughts. And so instead of thinking in that thought process, right, you will shut down. And even somebody that I highly like, one of my mentors explained to me that she shut down after an accident as well. Like, because imagine being in your business and having all these people to take care of and clients to take care of, and then you have an accident that actually lays you up, right? And then what's going to happen? Oh my God, my business is going to shut down. All my clients are going to go away. I'm not going to be able to do anything. Shut down, right? It happened to me when I was working in, because I don't really like driving, especially in winter. Like, driving's just not my jam. And I was working in a facility, and it was 45 minutes away. And every time I would come in from work, I was asleep in my chair within 5 seconds of walking in the door. You could have had a dance party in my living room, and there was no way I was going to wake up, because I was so distrustful of what my future looked like, and making the change and the shift that was necessary. So how do we get into that space? This one's the easiest one I can tell you guys. Stop and slow your breath down. Close your eyes for up to like 2 minutes if you need to. Focus on your breath, 5 minutes. But all you want to do is slow down your thoughts. If you can slow down your thoughts in any way, shape, or form, whether it's a walk, it doesn't matter, then what you're doing is creating space in there so that the thoughts and the chaos goes away, and you can have, again, a clearer conversation with spirit or whoever it is that you are connected to, right? You can also talk to a friend. That also helps with your heart chakra change resistance. And the last one I want to talk about is the 7th floor, which is your crown. And so the resistance of the crown is calling in the crap. And what I mean by that is you firmly believe that every single time you go to do something for yourself, whether it is to begin an MLM, whether it is to leave entrepreneurship to go back to a 9-to-5, whether it's to leave corporate to be an entrepreneur, you're afraid to open up to receive the good, because so many crappy things have happened in your life that you truly just think that, like, when you go to change something, something's going to happen. Like, my car breaks down, I lose money, my roof leaks, for me, it was my son's mental illness. I totally blamed him. What is up with that? But like, that was how I was able to resist changing my life and standing in my stardust, was by simply creating that if I did good things, bad things were going to come in. Why would we do that? Right? So my number one for this is just place a bouncer on the top of your head. Let's make it simple here. Why does everything have to be difficult? It doesn't. We make it difficult. And so you place a bouncer up on your head. Imagine that. See him with the billy bat if you want to. And so anytime something that is remotely not even part of what it is that you're meant to do, or standing in your power or your light, or however you want to show off, that bouncer is just going to kick them away, right? You're not in this building. And trust that, right? So then trust that you can put something up in place simply by asking, that will prevent anything negative from coming in. And if something does come in and it requires you to do a little work in yourself, that's what it was meant to come in to do, is to help you assist in that awareness, into that movement, and into that shift within yourself, to again be that clear channel to receive the universal, like, law of prosperity, law of anything, right? Like, you guys are all deserving of greatness. And so the discomfort of change is usually not something that isn't solvable, right? If you are just not comfortable with thinking about changing careers, changing relationships, changing small things in your house, redecorating, anything, really pay attention to the 7 different resistances that, and you can go in and clear that. And again, then it makes change easier, right? If you guys ever have any questions about this, like, please, this is why I'm on this earth, right? Is to help you understand where your resistance is manifesting and how I can, facilitate shifting that with you, because it's such a powerful thing. Like, I can't express to you, when you become a clear channel to receive, what kinds of things actually come in. It is astounding what my clients can achieve. 5-figure months, the relationship of their dreams, finding houses and getting them. Like, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. Now, on a side note, if you actually want to see the complete upheaval of my office space, like complete redo, all you have to do is follow Instagram. And if you go to instagram.com/Tamara Arnold Ferry, you will be able to see the before and after complete overhaul of my energetic space, which is, I believe, I didn't do much research, but my desk is feng shui now. And I might look up how to feng shui the rest of my office space, but it's pretty cool. And I love to do Insta stories a lot. Like, if you were to say, where's Tamara these days on social media? It's Insta stories. It's my jam. it's the most fun ever because now I want to be on video all the time. But I hope this is helpful. I didn't see any questions. You guys can always ask questions about resistance. That's, you know, what I'm here for. And if you ever want to solve that problem, please never feel like you can't reach out to me. I'm like one of those people that loves to talk. I will always answer. Always, 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 always answer. So I love you guys. And here's a Care Bear stare of love from my heart to yours. And I do hope that you have the most magical